Did Larry Wheels quit arm wrestling for good? And are we going to see the same from Brian Shaw as well? Hello arm wrestling fans, in today's video we will discuss Levan Saginashvili's Japan tour, then Larry Wheels announcing that he won't be thinking about being competitive at the highest level in any of the sports from now on, and this may include arm wrestling as well. Brian Shaw with Devon Larratt, possibly their final collaboration video. And then Devon Larratt will be featuring on Blacktip YouTube channel once again. This is going to get viral one more time. Let's start. Levan's Japan tour has come to an end and he's back in Georgia. We did get to see Levan practice on the table with some of the famous names. People are really loving the video that the current 55 kg women's champion left and right arm at WAF posted on her YouTube channel sparring with Levan Saginashvili. She's going to be competing at East vs West soon for the world title. So please check that channel out. Then Levan was practicing with Toshiyuki Shishido, who recently competed at the Knuckles Up event and won his super match. Unfortunately, there was no sparring session with the legendary Yoshinobu Kanai. This is something that we really wanted to see. Not that Levan would struggle against him, but it's always really cool to see the legends competing on the table, practicing on the table when they are older. But Yoshinobu did practice with Levan's friend Konstantin Janashia, and as expected, he completely stonewalled him. Levan seemed to be having a laugh every now and then there, but I think he was not genuinely enjoying his time, and I also think that the only reason for that was the language barrier. I mean, when people were talking, he was just pretending to laugh, but he absolutely had no idea what they were saying or what they were talking about. That's why the kind of awkward look on Levan's face. Larry Wheels recently uploaded a video titled I Relapsed. The video was mostly about Larry Wheels thinking about his business plans, his future with his wife, and also his powerlifting and bodybuilding careers. But he did mention arm wrestling as well a couple of times in that video. And the mention was somewhere along the lines of he used to really fall in love with arm wrestling. He didn't exactly say those words, but that's what I am getting from that video. So basically, he's quitting pursuing professionally high-level career in any of the sports. He quit bodybuilding because it was getting too tough for him. That's the basic explanation. He said that he quit not because he couldn't do anything in bodybuilding or powerlifting or arm wrestling, but the reason was that he cannot dedicate enough time to his family and to some other things that he would like. It takes all-out effort to be number one in any sport. He enjoyed all of these sports, but until they became really competitive for him, and then the fun was out of the game. And the weird reason that I heard from Larry in that video is that he switched from arm wrestling to bodybuilding because he wanted to get more eyes on himself so that basically he can sell more products from his PR lifestyle and grow his brand. He thought that bodybuilding would give him more eyes than arm wrestling. Nothing wrong with that, but that should kind of open our eyes up as a fan of arm wrestling, because we may think that we are some big time, but even now, Larry believes that him going into a completely new sport, bodybuilding, is going to give him more fame than arm wrestling, which is not a really cool thing for us arm wrestlers. So overall, the sports were getting too competitive for him and there were not enough rewards. That's what Larry said exactly. So we can assume that he won't be thinking about getting to a very high world champion level in arm wrestling, or maybe we cannot think that because Larry is someone, as already mentioned by many people, who changes his plans, who changes his ideas, who changes his belief systems almost every single month. So maybe the next month he will be back to arm wrestling and he will try to get even stronger. But it's a definite fact that once you have been at top of the game in any sport and then you switch to a new one, it is difficult if you take a lot of ass whoopings in the beginning. And that's what makes me worried about Brian Shaw as well. Usually we think that, okay, let's get the best, the strongest strongman in the world into our sport, he will dominate it. But I'm not sure if it is the best way. If we are going for the most popular one, then maybe we just want him not for his arm wrestling abilities and his skill, but for the exposure that he's going to bring to our sport. And I'm not sure if it is entirely correct or not. Because in Strongman, the 1000th strongest guy in the world who competes in strongman competitions may very well be a better arm wrestler than the best guy in the world, Brian Shaw or Hafthor Bjornsson or Eddie Hall. I mean, there is no correlation or not enough difference if we talk about the strongman top level, or let's say 100, 500, 700 level strongman. I think they can basically be the same in arm wrestling. But the difference there is that Brian Shaw, who has been winning World's Strongest Man, it won't be easy for him to continue arm wrestling if he starts losing. Yes, he knows that, he's already mentioning that, but once he starts losing, the motivation kind of goes away, and it happens to everyone. So I'm not really sure if we should be looking for the best guys from the other sports. How about the ninth best guy who never really finished on the podium but can be equally strong? That guy can really continue in arm wrestling if he can improve his spot from 9th to, let's say, 5th in his weight category in arm wrestling. I think he'll be happy. So Brian uploaded another video with Devon Larratt, and this video was entirely about the rehab workout that Devon himself does. One thing that confused me a little bit is that I have not seen Brian Shaw spar on the table with some of the guys, or maybe he's hiding those trainings, and clearly he's not competing. So unless you are sparring on the table and competing on the table, I don't see a reason why you need to rehab from arm wrestling workouts. And I don't think that Brian Shaw is going to be doing some arm wrestling workouts that are going to be so taxing on his body that he's going to need a rehab from them. But maybe Devon was teaching him for the future. And as you have already seen, these were all of the exercises that Brian was told by Devon Larratt to do in the future. The last time Devon was on Blacktip YouTube channel, a fishing YouTube channel, that's what I'm getting from the thumbnails. That video became the most viral video on the channel. So it was a mutual exchange. The channel got popular because of Devon, and Devon got popular because of the channel, the venue, the spot, the equipment that channel offered. That's what got that video viral. So it has 88 million views, the second most popular video that Devon has ever been a part of. The first one is with Braun Strowman that has over 200 million views, but that is a short. This one is a legit long form video. So I count those 80 plus million views much more than those 200 million views. So this time Juji Mufu will be missing from the scene, but instead of Juji we have both of Devon's son in the video, and I hope this one gets viral too. It will be really amazing and really cool for arm wrestling.